Welcome back, fellow armchair generals. This is Gamer 1745 here with my continuing playthrough of Gary Grigsby's War in the East, and we're doing the Road to Minsk scenario. Okay, so what we're doing now is we're trying to form the southern part of the pocket here, and pushing up and pushing towards Minsk. So just looking here at some of these infantry units. Oh, we're in the parachute thing. Yeah, there we go. That helps, doesn't it? Okay. So let's come to here. That'll force them back. Force them there. You know, last time I learned about the ability, to do combined attacks from multiple provinces. Okay, we may move them forward, but not just right now. Good, that's push them back. Good, get them across the river, or being back behind. First, an attack on the armor. Oh, that was way more than I needed. Okay. Good. Now here. I do a prepared attack for these. Across the river. Even when that was just a prepared attack. This is a really good confidence building scenario. You just kick butt starting out. Everything is just easy enough to shatter. Okay, the fourth and the third. Let's see. We're gonna start with the third or the fourth division here. We want to secure the railways. All these routed units and some headquarters stuff. We're just collecting. Okay, we're out of action point. Just too rough a terrain, I guess, to continue pushing forward. There we go. And this cavalry unit here. Might as well attack this. And I thought we would have done better, but there we go. Routed all the way back to there. Good. Bring that up. Mostly just as a fast moving unit. there. Good. We're almost closed. Pocket. We want to get that rail junction. Go. Push them back now. Let's move here. That way we'll drive these guys back as well as. There we go. There's Minsk, our goal. We still have some fairly heavy hitting units back here. Since our goal is Minsk, let's move them up this way. Now let's take one at a time. The 18th here. And get across that river, it'd be nice. And they are well, not enough action point. Well, we can attack from there. That's probably good enough. But I just want to route everything possible. So now we've created a decent pocket here. Let's see about getting some of this railroad repaired. And deselect that, and then just help that one out, move forward. Deselect those, and don't want to leave them stacked up. So you know that just only gets 2 segments repaired, but is moving us ahead on that. Leaving the HQs basically where they are, because I want to make sure they're in supply. Might as well come in and take out their air and HQ there. Well, they held. Good job for them. Okay, prepare attack. There, that'll do good. And now it's these 2. And even more than I needed by far. Okay, well that's looking pretty good. Let's draw out a little bit further here. So we can see the areas that we currently control, which are sort of this gray, and the reddish tones are still Soviet controlled areas. But we've created a pocket of these and push back. And I think we will be able to continue to move our infantry up to make sure that we have enough force to batter our way into Minsk if needed. I think this is a good point to end the turn. I'm looking. Oh, we got these guys here. Let's. I wanna. Might as well get them up here. Not trying to rush them forward, I just want to get them into position. Be of help. Notice these guys have no action points, so they are basically fresh units that are just here and not able to advance or do anything yet. Okay, well, we're going to leave the rest of that pocket there. So, I think we're doing good with the cores on. They're mostly sitting on railways. I think that will help on their supplies. I say I think because I'm not 100% sure. But so this is the this one here, end turn. Yes, we're going to end turn. For better or worse, we're going to end the turn. I still want your opinion on whether we should have Fog of War on or not for the grand campaign. So if you haven't already somewhere, please comment on that. It'll make it a bit of a different campaign either way. And it's not wrong to want to play it in sort of traditional war games fashion, you know, being everybody able to sit down and look at the board and see what's going on. Really, in the olden days, I use that term sort of correctly and joking and whatnot, but in the olden days, a really super sophisticated war game that I would maybe read about someone playing would be well, maybe even theoretically in 2 rooms. Okay, well, let's see. We can see here we've have permanent losses of some Panzer 1s, Panzer 2s, Panzer 4 Cs and Es. Let's see what we've had. The Soviets, T-26s of various types, and this is what's sort of remarkable to me is they're dealing with the different models, and I don't know how much that affects. They even have some KV-1s. They've lost 2. BT-7s, BT-5s, yes. But really sophisticated war games, as I was starting to say. Could be in 2 rooms, sometimes just with a partition between them. And you'd set up two boards like this. And again, I only read about these things in various magazines or whatever. I never had a fortunate ability to ever play in one of them. And sort of what they would do is you would set up your pieces in your, your zone of control. The enemy would set up his pieces, and then the umpire person or persons would then place the other nation's, units that they could see along the board. So, and then they would sort of handle, so your turn, you do all the moving and rolling the dice and on the attacks and determine how good the attacks were. And once, what they did, and okay, great, they did that. And now what? Well, move it on this board, go check on the other board and remove the counters or whatever. And then on the other board show, you know, the advances, and so the other turn would take its turn. And so you would only see what was, you know, the umpires would let you see at the time. That was really sophisticated, and that's in the days before computers and doing this stuff. But that was extremely rare. I don't want to make it seem like I was ever involved in one of those, which I wasn't. And like I say, it wasn't something to be done or was done often. Okay. Well. Okay, well first I want to destack one of these. So let's, well, this is sort of a weaker element there, so let's come up here. Oh shit! Oh. Keep forgetting to, the one that I'm clicking on isn't the one that I'm selecting, I'm deselecting the others. Okay. Okay, well this is now going to be the one that moves forward. Continues to deal with this guy. Well. Okay, I needed these guys up here. Get him pushed back. Here we want to come up to. Although they will be able to advance, I want to come down here. Take out the air bases and security units. Oh well, that didn't take them out as much as I'd hoped. These kids capture the various cores. Fuel. Well, put it around them at least. Yeah, I want to make sure I get all of the right away, just to make sure it's in my hands. Now here, we're going to come, oh, why can't we go straight? Well, I just want to make sure that I'm getting everything needed. Improve this. Obviously we could move further, but let's do that and get those repaired there. Now here, I'm not the best at keeping command structures together. I know I haven't moved these guys yet, but neither have I moved this. So, okay, that way we can get across the river, so we're not attacking across the river here. Because it looks like it's in roughish terrain, so a bit of a prepare. Yeah, we did that right. And that pushed them all out, and that pushed them out. And there we are. We're now circling around the flank of them, disrupting any counterattacks. So here, we've got these guys, which we should attack easily. And instead of going straight for them, I'm going to again do some circling here. Now we're going to have more of that coming from this way. No, I want you to come here. That just to sort of keep anybody from trying to hit me in the flank. They can come through this rough terrain if they like, but obviously they're going to run into that, but they can't just zip in. Now here, this is easy enough. Get there, back. And they surrendered because they're surrounded, presumably. Didn't have a path to retreat. Here, we've got these guys. Oh, that should have been a prepared attack. Okay. There we go. And they're surrendering. And here as well. So let's retreat this. Still got some armor there. Go with both of those units. Good. 11 retreat. I wanted overkill. Now, here we are. Sort of southern push, as it were. There it is, there. They have a little bit of fighters, but and we could or should eventually be moving our fighters up the bases for them. We're supposed to move one. Oh well, whatever. We're getting fuel and supply. That's good. That's a parachute units. Don't know how useful those are. Okay, so we go up to here, get across the river. Yeah, good. We can brush those aside once we get. Yeah, that was good that I did. Prepared attack. HQs are all fleeing out and away. All of those guys. And not that good of odds even with all of that. They held. Okay, well. That might have helped. But we're going to wait for some more infantry to come up, I think, at this moment. While we continue to work to cut off. Any relief or reinforcements or other things. Now down here, let's see here. That's going to be a fight, I think. So we're going to bring them up here. Well, not as tough as I thought. Oh wow, this is really getting slow for that. Really bad terrain. Okay, I get you. Okay, capture more. Yes, even those are anti-tank. I wasn't afraid of them. And we're capturing more fuel supply and other equipment. Great. Tanks. Let's see if we can do any good. Oh, alright, good. You can see here where we've have Soviet railway that we need to repair. I'm just thinking whether trying to go up this way. Well, we have very little this way, so let's continue to go. Guess we need to repair this one. That. Deselect. Not sure if it would use up the other units' action points if they were selected while repairing, but don't want to take the chance. Dug in a little better there. There we go. Didn't need to leave them. These guys, that'll be useful coming up here. Overkill, yeah. Not enough points to attack. Oh well. At least we're getting up there, moving forward. Down here, I want to take one of these. Let's do the weaker one. And move it up here. Just make sure none of these guys come up and start dealing with my flank. There we go. Now these units still aren't able to move. This is mostly mopping up here. They held. Okay, well. capturing lots of tanks. Useful. Maybe not so much to winning or losing this game, but still. Yeah, we're kicking some butt here. Just because it's across the river. Sure, and I did that right. Yes, okay. Good, I like the ability there to do the multiple stuff at once, multiple attacks. Probably should move these guys forward sooner. Oh, where else? Oh well. Not really quite sure what this. I mean, I know what security units do, but I don't know if in this game we have partisans to deal with, or revolt risks, or something. Don't know. Or whether they're just there because 221st Security Division. Okay, well, cool, but for completeness sake, or whether it's something more. How good a bunch of the rest of this stuff is, I would guess complete, that they have some use. Oh yeah, we want to do the opposite. These guys, let's get them all the way up here. I know we still have a couple. So that should cut them off the rail access. Okay, well, we're going to end the episode here. We're going to save ending the turn for the next episode. I want to thank everyone for watching. I want to thank you for liking the videos if you would. And of course, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. I want to see you around more often. And of course, if you have tips, suggestions, ideas, I'm still just learning this. If you know it better, please post stuff, comments, questions, whatever. Love hearing from you. See you next time for more War in the East or some other game.